I didn't have time to set things up. But I was getting things set up, and yeah, I was just like, oh, can't be bothered doing all the things I need to do because then it might be in the wrong aspect ratio. But it wasn't. It was okay. It's really heavy though because when I go live, I press go live on YouTube. So there's a boat going past. I press go live on YouTube, and it goes to like full screen on my phone, so it looks as though I got to be in the wrong aspect ratio. And then just as it says you're live, it goes back, it snaps back to 16 by 9. It's a very strange setup that Google has got itself. So welcome to Ginger Island. I'm here with my little dog. This is Pickle. Pickle, come and say hello to everyone. Come here, Pickle. Pickle, come here. Come and say hello. Come and say hello. What's that, Pickle? What's that, Pickle? What you doing today, eh? What you doing? It's going to be a really hot day today, so you make sure that you stay hydrated, okay? Yeah? Stay hydrated? Promise? Good girl. Good girl. Anyway, as we let people file in, me and my dog on Ginger Island. Afternoon, Badgers, says Billy. Hello, Billy. How you doing, mate? We had a bit of a midnight sesh last night. It was 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. sesh last night. It was brilliant. Yeah, we put the world to rights. We had a go about Richard Tice avoiding 600,000, tax dodger. Richard Tice, tax dodger, dodged £600,000 worth of tax for a really complex, shady-arsed company setup where like he exploited a loophole in a particular type of company that doesn't have to pay any tax on its profits for 3 years. But you're supposed to look for investors, and you've got 3 years to find investors. And if you don't find the investors, yeah, you still don't have to pay any tax for those 3 years. Honestly, it's so corrupt and corruptible, and all these rich people just ruin the lives of everyone. But like, talking of ruining people's lives, we have got the spectre of oil going to $200 a barrel, and I want to talk today about the effect that's going to have on you, on me, our countries, our loved ones. Also, before I get started, today is Mother's Day in the UK. I think it's a different day in Australia. I think it's an even more different day in America. No one can quite sort of get together on what day you celebrate Mother's Day, but in the UK it's Mother's Day today. So I just want to say big love to everyone out there in the chat, and especially those for whom today might be a bit of a bittersweet experience today. So for whatever reason, and yeah, just sending love, and to all the mums out there who work bloody hard. There was a really good post by Man vs Baby today where he was just saying, let's forget about the manosphere for a moment. Let's talk about the mumosphere and the fact that, you know, mums have to put up with all this shit constantly. He wrote, enough about the manosphere and more about the mumosphere. Here's to the true alphas, the mums of tiny ones surviving on 2 hours kip and daydreaming wistfully of days gone by when they had time to brush their hair without combing bits of sweet corn and gob. To those mums whose little ones are not so little and are constantly being told they should enjoy it because it goes by in a blink of an eye, when sometimes it's just standing in the doorway of a bathroom listening to your kid telling you about Minecraft while he has a shit. And to the mums of those monosyllabic tweens and teenagers who are coming to terms with the fact that the creature they spent 15 hours in labour for is now calling them bro, shouting 6-7 randomly, and is singly unimpressed with the taxi service they now provide. Have a happy Mother's Day to the whole gorgeous lot of you. We love you, bro. That last bit that's a bit close to home. It really is at the moment. But yeah, so I hope you're having a nice time, whatever you're doing. I hope the weather's behaving wherever you are. It's a beautiful day today here on the island. I'll show you on the other camera what it's like out there. There you go, look at that. Nice, nice. Oh, focus. Oh, focus, you insufferable bastard. Why is it so bad at focusing? Oh, I don't know, just focus on the middle of the camera. The middle, whatever's in the middle, focus on that. Boosh, says Billy. Hello. The dog forgot me to get a card. The dog forgot to get me a card again, says Diz. Oh, what if the dog got you a cardigan? So that was a terrible joke. I don't even have my squeaky tank with me. I don't have my super chat board. So no one give a super chat today because I won't be able to celebrate it properly. Anyway, so yeah, we'll talk today about the what's happening around the world when it comes to this energy crisis. Now, this already is the worst energy crisis since the 1970s. Countries are already introducing energy-saving measures to reduce fuel consumption. They're already preparing for prolonged higher oil prices by cutting energy use, managing demand, and preventing panic buying. In the Philippines, the government officers have moved to a temporary 4-day work week to reduce commuting fuel use. Civil servants have been told to turn off the lights and turn off computers during lunch breaks. Air conditioning limits are being introduced in public buildings, and flexible working is being encouraged to reduce transport demand. In Australia, some petrol stations have already begun limiting how much fuel customers can buy, and the government has warned against panic buying and hoarding diesel, not least because it's fucking dangerous. It is fucking dangerous. One of the things that kind of annoys me is when people use the expression now, add fuel to the fire. That just added fuel to the fire. But the problem is, people associate fuel with petrol, and there's a very different thing that happens if you pour, say, kerosene on a fire, which will make it burn. But if you pour petrol on the fire, if you have the petrol in a container in your hand, there's a good chance that the fucking thing will explode if you pour it onto a fire. Petrol is particularly volatile. It is incredibly easy to set on fire. And this is why, for many years they didn't allow you to use mobile phones when you were filling at the pump. In fact, some petrol stations still have signs up saying no mobile phones at the pump. But yeah, work from home is a good thing now. We should have been banging on about it if it helps with fuel reduction. Well, exactly. Well, the only people who don't want us to work from home are the people working for your old companies like Nigel Farage and his horrible little tax dodging mate, Richard Lice. So yeah, in Thailand, the government's urging citizens not to stockpile fuel after long queues have formed at petrol stations, and diesel prices have been temporarily capped by the government to protect consumers. In India, emergency powers have been used to divert LPG, liquid petroleum gas, supplies away from industry and towards households. Refineries have been ordered to increase the production of domestic cooking gas. And in Vietnam, businesses have been encouraged to introduce work-from-home policies to reduce commuting fuel demand. And the government have removed tariffs on fuel imports to stabilise prices. Meanwhile, in the UK, motoring organisations are advising drivers to cut non-essential journeys and to drive more efficiently, apparently. I don't know if you've seen any of this. And the government is preparing cost of living support measures if prices rise further, which they are very likely to do. These policies show the government is already moving towards demand and control energy conservation before a full crisis hits. So there are strategic oil reserves, around 400 million barrels of oil will be injected into global markets. It's the largest coordinated reserve release in history. It involves about 30 countries. It's insane. And but the problem is, the analysts are saying that it's only going to be a temporary buffer. It's only going to last for a few weeks. And yeah, it all comes down to the Strait of Hormuz. You know, on conservative and refuck pages, they're actually sharing this graphic of like, oh, why don't they just drive the oil with trucks, you know, from, I guess, Dubai to Salalah in Oman. And I'm just like, tell me that you don't know how anything works without telling me you don't know how anything works. It's one of the most dangerous mountainous areas in the world, that particular stretch. The way that you would go around from Dubai to Salalah, a trip I have done, I've travelled there and back on buses. You have to go to the capital of Oman, Muscat, which is in the top of the country, and then you have to go along the coast to Salalah and then down to the uh, Yemeni border, if that's what you want to do. But like the idea that like I'll just chuck it across, and you're like, well, you do know that will cost billions and billions of dollars to build a road that doesn't exist. It would take about 20 years. And even when it's done, like, do you know how many truckloads of oil a single oil tanker can take? No, I don't think they do. I don't think they do. But I think something like a single oil tanker can take 20,000 trucks worth of oil. I don't think they have 20,000 trucks in Dubai. I just... So here's the thing, right? And what I want to talk about, what I want to concentrate on today is what if oil hits $200 a barrel? Well, I mean, that means the cost of everything in your life is going to go up. Everything: food, drink, packaging, logistics, delivery. Like, the cost of fertilizer will go up, so your food price is going up. The cost of fuel will be going up, so the price of getting the stuff to the supermarket will go up. The price of your fuel will go up, like just, you know, buying it from the local, your local fuel emporium, service station. We could see very, very soon, within a month, the price of a litre of petrol go up to over £2 a litre in the UK. And we're going to see our heating bills, our energy bills, go through the roof. Go through the absolute roof. You thought it was bad when Russia invaded Ukraine. Well, you know, we were supposedly shielded from that a little bit because we didn't buy too much of our natural gas from Russia, unlike Germany, which bought a lot of its natural gas from Russia. This time, we're getting screwed because a lot of our natural gas, well over half, comes from Qatar. And they've shut down the production. They've shut down. We're not getting any more. It's just stopped. It's just stopped. So, petrol price is going up. The cost of heating your home, the cost of electricity is going to go up. The cost of your commute is going to go up. There's going to be inflation. There's going to be recessions all over the world, because we were already struggling with the cost of living, and this is going to make it even worse. Trump did this. Fucking Donald Trump did this, and we can't even wish his unalivement on the internet without getting taken down for being not woke enough or something. You need to be more woke, Graham. You can't wish for that kind of thing. But also, when the economy tanks, and this happens time and time again, a knock-on effect is unemployment goes up, poverty goes up, all the other problems that are associated with higher spending on everything costing more. Your mortgages are going to go up. If you're on a variable rate, it's going to go up. If you are on a set rate and you've been okay for the last 5 years, because you got your mortgage before Liz Truss and a stupid fucking mini budget, if you're renegotiating your mortgage this year, you are in a lot of trouble. You are in a lot of trouble. I might not be able to come back here to the island this year. After I get back, I already paid for my flight, but there's a good chance that the cost of the flights, most of the cost of a flight is the fuel, and I can't afford £1,000 to come here. That's a ridiculous sum of money to spend on an aeroplane. I can't afford it. Why do fucking psychopaths get put in charge of governments? Because people want to fuck psychopaths. It's a really weird thing that humans do. They are attracted sexually. They're sexually attracted to psychopaths. People are weird. What can I say? You know the women who write to serial killers in jail telling them how much they love them and wanting to marry them? Yeah, that's every single fucker who voted for Trump. It's every single fucker who votes for Nigel Farage, to be honest with you. Any other country had Nutter in charge, all the countries would be on high alert. No contingency plan for a psycho in the White House, all that at his disposal, really. Well, exactly. Anyone in charge of an army should have combat history knowledge. Playing Call of Duty doesn't equate keg's breath. Yeah. 10 minutes says he's not sounding too bad right now. Yeah, exactly. Definitely can't afford to accelerate. Yeah. And these strikes on Iran, I mean, as I've said from the get-go on this, you know, these strikes, you're just making a bad situation worse. And Iran is such a big country. It's so ridiculous to imagine for a moment that you can take a country with 90 million people in it, a huge country, 3 times the size of Ukraine, and you can bomb it into submission. You know, did the Nazis bomb Britain into submission? Did they? During the Blitz, did they? Did they fuck? It made people more angry. It made people want to fight the Germans even more. It made people rally around the then government of Winston Churchill. That's what happened. 90 million people. What are you going to do? Drop 90 million bombs? It's just such stupidity. And it's the stupidity of it, the cruelty and the stupidity of it all. And God, if people didn't have a beef with Israel before, fuck me, when they go to the pump and it's £2 a bloody litre, when they get home and open the energy bill, it's gone up another £2,000 for like a fucking month. Jesus Christ. People are not going to be fucking happy. People are not going to be happy. What happens if it's $200 a barrel? We see an increase in poverty. We see an increase in suicide. We see an increase in unemployment. We see an increase in mental health disorders. We see an increase in people just losing their path in life. We see this. We saw this with Brexit, with the damage that did to our economy and our society. And this is going to be very similar. It's going to be very fucking similar. Central banks, you know, the oil shocks cause both inflation and recession. And cutting interest rates risks worsening the inflation. But raising the rates risks deepening the economic downturn. Central banks face a real dilemma now, but it's okay because Trump's putting his own fucking stooge in at the Fed in America, who's going to bring down the interest rates no matter what. And yeah, you're going to see in America the most crazy fucking bit of inflation you've seen probably since the Weimar German Republic. Maybe since in Zimbabwe at the turn of the millennium when they had their hyperinflation. I've still got, was it $100 billion note? I've got $100 billion note from Zimbabwe. I think they went up to 50 trillion. And, you know, the big winners in this, right? I've talked about Russia being the biggest winner in the world from all this. Russia can now earn enormous revenue from its oil exports. It's a huge financial windfall for the Kremlin. The extra money will be spent on murdering European women and children in their disgusting, imperialistic, fascistic war of aggression against the independent country of Ukraine. The extra money could also weaken the impact of Western sanctions already. Uh, the Russian stooge government in America, in the White House, have decided that it's a really good idea to dial back some of these sanctions against Russia. And the biggest losers are going to be the oil importing countries. But the one that people aren't really talking about is China. Now, China's a bit of an interesting one because China does import a lot of Middle Eastern oil, huge quantities. However, it has massive oil reserves and it has been ramping up its renewable energy supply, its energy capability like crazy. I think they put more solar panels and wind turbines up last year than the rest of the world combined. Like, it is an insane amount. Um, but what could swing it for them in China is that a prolonged crisis could push other countries towards green technology quicker and quicker. And who's providing that green technology? Who's making the vast majority of solar panels at the moment? It's China. But the long-term consequences are just absolutely devastating. We're going to see energy security becoming a top geopolitical priority. But what can we do? Like, I don't want to be all doom and gloom. There is some little bit of silver around the cloud on the horizon. And this is it. It's the fact that this whole situation could really focus minds, especially in countries in Europe, to moving away from fossil fuels even faster than we already were. I mean, net zero 2030. How about net zero 2026? Like, let's get to fucking net zero as soon as humanly possible. Let's build those offshore wind turbines. Let's make sure that all new builds in the UK have a solar panel on the roof. Let's get heat pumps installed. Let's get insulation installed. Um, and that would be a good thing, I think. Our reliance on the Middle East would decrease dramatically, and therefore we wouldn't be in a position where we have to sort of go, oh well, I know that Saudi Arabia you know, murders its own journalists with bone saws, but don't say anything. Don't say anything because that'll be bad that you said something. So yeah, yeah. Should we drive backwards to put more fuel in? Yeah, that's how it works. And Trump has done all this for no reason. Yep. Pasta bake in the oven. Oh, nice, Al. Um, and we've got any other country. I've had that one. Uh, DM due around 11. Can you pop it in the chat? The Iranian government has said that the Straits of Hormuz are open to all ships apart from the US and Israel. Yeah. Um, at the same time, they're dropping mines. They don't even have to drop real mines. They drop fake mines in the sea, causing enough disruption. The greatest unfortunate inflation since the Bounty Castle in It's a Royal Knockout. I can't believe that happened. I mean, people think that the death of Diana was the real low point for the royal family, and they kind of forget about It's a Royal Knockout. Um, Je sans frontières. Ilbo saying little addiction to fossil fuels. A bunch of rich can hold more wealth, and there was a solid for renewable energy. Here it is, and not. We're seeing not just due to severe flooding, which has been totally caused by climate change. And when you see those images of these oil refineries on fire in Iran and around West Asia, you see the environmental damage that is doing is catastrophic, absolutely catastrophic. Um, And yeah, Israeli forces um, Israel is bombing the shit out of Iran. It's also dropping bombs and killing people in killing innocent people in Lebanon. They've got nothing to do with this. And also, by the way, Israel killed a family of two parents and two children. Two children, age 5 and 7, were killed by the Israelis, the Israeli forces, the IDF in the West Bank yesterday. I mean, bloody hell. Has any human being done more for the force of anti-Semitism than Benjamin Netanyahu? There's my question for you. Has any human being? Because, I mean, even the Nazis were so horrific that, you know, people went, oh, they were repelled by what the Nazis were trying to do, or some people were anyway. I know Oswald Mosley wasn't, and that gobshite from Howard's End, is it? What's the name of that movie? Remains of the Day. Remains of the Day. But yeah, I do feel like there is a real opportunity here for the world to realign its politics. And I want us to move away from being in hoc to America, Israel, the whole of West Asia, to be honest with you. I don't mind, you know, people can do their own thing. And I have no problem in that. I just don't want to be beholden to other countries and in these kind of situations when those other countries are not necessarily ruled by sane individuals. That's why it infuriated the hell out of me when people talked about sovereignty and we had to leave the EU because sovereignty. And I'm like, you don't even know what fucking word sovereignty means, mate. If we had sovereignty, we'd have fuel sovereignty, energy sovereignty. We'll make all our own fuel, but we don't. And the fuel that we do have in the North Sea, those oil fields we found in the 1970s, we've made fuck all from that, really. We have. I mean, you know, me and you. Some oil company CEOs made a load of money, but we don't get a discount. And people think we get a discount. We don't get a fucking discount. How many times do I have to say this to people? We don't get a discount on our own oil. You know, we can't sell it back to ourselves. Yeah, buffering. Oh no, that was so cringe. This the presenter got done for something. I'm getting just Andrew was in good company and Jimmy Savlon hanging around. Yeah, it was Stuart Hill, wasn't it? Was it Stuart Hill? Hey people, says person impersonator. Hey person. That's very good. I like that. So yeah, I'm particularly concerned about the mortgage thing. I'm particularly concerned about the fuel thing, about being able to fly back here. I think the whole thing's just really, really grim. Really grim. We're in a really grim part of the history of the world at the moment. We were so close, my friends. We were so close. Have you got any idea how close we were? Have you got any idea? In 2008, when I was prepping for my journey around the world, I had to go to the FCO website, Foreign Commonwealth Office website, to see which countries I couldn't go to. Well, it's not like you can't go to them, but if it's recommended not to go to a country on the FCO website, you can't get insurance for that country through normal, you know, your normal travel insurance won't work. So you have to pay to get extra, like crazy insurance, like £600 a day insurance from a company like Battleface or something. And that to me is like bloody hell, you know. That's a bit shit. And so I had it in my head that any country that wasn't on the was on the FCO list of countries not to go to any part of, I'd only spend like 10 minutes in the country. I'd just literally step over the border and then come back. In 2008, when I started traveling, there was only one country in the world. Out of the 201 countries I went to in the 17 territories, there was only one that the FCO said don't go to any part of this country, which was a lie, actually. You could go to Somaliland in the north, but it was Somalia. It was Somalia. And Somaliland is very safe. No tourists have been killed there for years and decades, whatever. They have their own government, they have their own flag, they have their own currency, they have their own democracy. They have a fairly free and fair elections for that region, and that was the only one, just one. I mean, there were other countries listed, as in, don't go to these parts of Iraq, don't go to these parts of Afghanistan, don't go to etc. Right? Don't go to these parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo. But as far as an entire country that you couldn't go to was concerned, that was it. Just Somalia. And I grew up in the Cold War. You know, I remember worrying about nuclear Armageddon, and then them making helpful shows on the TV, like When the Wind Blows and Threads, Red Dawn, and that was a little bit of a worry, you know, you might say, to put it mildly. Okay, so following travel advice. Here we go. Yeah. Following travel advice. Oh, that's not very helpful. 226 countries or territories. There's someone there that I've not been to. So, yeah, sorry, I got distracted then. I was looking up the key Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. It's got a D in it now. It advises do not travel to Afghanistan at all, Belarus, high risk of arrest, Burkina Faso, high terrorist threat, Haiti, unpredictable security situation, Iran, significant risk of detention for British nationals, Iraq, Palestine, Israel, significant regional escalation risks, Mali, Niger, terrorist attacks and kidnapping risks, Russia, due to invasion of Ukraine, Sudan and South Sudan, armed violence, Syria and Yemen, ongoing armed conflict. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 countries in 2016. We were so close. So I grew up in the shadow of the Soviet threat, Soviet menace, the dispassionate cruelty that emanated from the Kremlin, from Moscow, and spread its vile fucking poison across vast swathes of my continent of Europe and elsewhere around the world. Big man, strong man, fucking governments that murdered its own citizens or threw them into a gulag for saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing or being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I grew up and you'd hear these dolly birds on the telly or whatever, on these grotesque beauty pageants that they used to have. Well, I assume they still do. Trump used to use these beauty pageants as an excuse to go in and ogle the young teenage underage girls who were getting changed because he ran the contest, and he bragged about the fact that he could just go in and see what he wanted of these young underage girls getting changed. But you get these beauty pageant winners, and they'll always say the same thing, wouldn't they? They'd always say, "Oh, thank you, I won, and I just want to say, I just want to see world peace." No, you know. World peace. And it always seemed, as a kid, it always seemed like that was a really daft thing to say. It was really, you know, a bit naive to believe that we could achieve some level of world peace, that could be done. But I tell you, in 2009, Obama was, it was his first year of his first term, and he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And at the time, I just remember thinking, like, actually, I don't want to jinx it, but we're very close to world peace. We're very, very, very close to world peace. What was the most deadly armed conflict in 2009? In 2009, the most deadly, in terms of, how many people got killed in 2009, it wasn't Iraq, it wasn't Afghanistan, it wasn't Yemen, it wasn't Sudan, it was Mexico. It's the Mexican drug war, which is awful and needs dealing with. But we were so close. We were a whisker away from it. And then these gruesome billionaires like Zuckerberg and Musk emerged around that same time. And they don't want peace. They want everyone at each other's throats, because rage bait is just so fucking profitable. And what they love more than anything in life is money, money, and more fucking money. That's all they want, just money. And I want a bit of money, I'm sad that I haven't got my super chat board, because otherwise, we could get some super chats in. But after your first $1 billion, the fuck are you going to spend it on? No one needs more than $1 billion. No one needs 100 million. No one needs 10 million. No one needs $1 million, to be honest with you. You can live your entire life and live have a pretty good time with £1 million in the bank. Jesus Christ. You could live for decades in Thailand, having the time of your life. Just saying. We were so close. And I'm not a beauty queen pageant winner, I'm someone who's travelled, I'm someone who's seen the world, I'm someone who's experienced it firsthand in ways that others haven't. And even I was like, oh, don't jinx it, we're really close. Don't jinx it, but we're really close. Oh, I've got the hiccups. And we've gone completely in the wrong direction now. I feel so lucky that I did what I did, my travel, when I did it. Couldn't do it now. The biggest irony and stupidity was the fact that we left the EU as proof we had sovereignty all along. Yeah, exactly. It's catch-22, isn't it? We haven't got any sovereignty. Okay, well, we'll leave this thing. But we need sovereignty to leave it. We haven't got any sovereignty, so how can we leave it if we've got no sovereignty? I fucking hate the Brexiters. We'll be trading oil in the yuan as soon as the 1974 agreement to sell oil in dollars expired in 2024. Now the Saudis are dealing direct with China, and this could result in the collapse of the dollar. My dog is having a little scratch. Are you having a little scratch, are you, girl? What are you doing? Oh, okay. Camera shy. Look at that view. Look at that view. Does that not make you want to go for a swim? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. God, so nice. I'm a lucky badger in so many ways. I'm very, very, very lucky. I get to do what I love. I like hanging out on the hammock and having a chat with you. Has anyone seen Pete's music on any chat since Tuesday? He would have had dialysis on Wednesday. I've not seen him. He's here on the other chats that he's normally in. I've not seen Pete's music. I hope he's all right. He was finding dialysis exhausting, I can imagine. I hope he's okay. Yeah, so do I. It wasn't what the the military industrial complex wanted. Yeah. Have you not entered the beauty pageant, Graham? No, I haven't. I don't think I'd win, but that's fine. I'm kind of like, I do feel like beauty is something that is so subjective, and it's why the toxic manosphere to me is just so darkly hilarious, especially these people who do this looks maxing thing. I mean, and I don't understand why, right? When it comes to trans people, gender affirming care is like so bad. Like it's bad that trans people are given gender affirming care. You know, how dare they have surgery? How dare they get a top surgery? How dare they get HRT? Right. Meanwhile, all these men in America. So the number one plastic surgery operation in America is breast reduction for men. The biggest plastic surgery procedure for men is breast reduction. That's pretty gender affirming. How's that different from top surgery for a trans mask? The hypocrisy. I think that's what kills me. And isn't it funny that, like, it's not funny, grimly hilarious that the right is happy to be as hypocritical as fuck, and yet the left is just obsessed with purity tests and putting obstacles in the people's way and saying, you know, you said the wrong thing, you put the wrong tweet up 17 years ago, so you know no one should listen to anything you have to say ever again. And it's like, bloody hell, turns this whole thing into a minefield. So try and keep away from that as much as possible. But the amount of fucking gatekeeping when we were fighting Brexit, and all these different groups had their own way of doing it. And I kept saying, no one knows what's going to work, but I know what's definitely not going to work, and that is doing nothing. That is doing nothing. Definitely not going to work. So I was happy if people wanted to do anything, if they wanted to protest via means of interpretive fucking dance. I was like, okay, go with God, like whatever. Just raising awareness. And this thing of like, oh, don't tell anyone that we're having a march. You know, we've got to keep it secret till like a week before, and then we'll say we're having a march. I was really, there was the People's Judean Front of the Vote, or whatever it's called, People's Vote. And they never got in touch with any of the other people who were working on the campaigns at the time. I don't know if they got even in touch with like Femi, who was quite active, or James Dart. Or, the only time they got in touch with me, right, was I think it was in 2019. There was going to be a march in the March of 2019 in London, and I was getting a bit antsy because it was like it was way through February, and they still hadn't announced the date or the time that we were meeting up or whatever. And there might have been reasons for it, but having organised marches myself, I didn't really, you've got to have a meeting with the police, fair enough, let them know what you're doing. But that's it. You sit down and you go, we're going to do this. And they go, okay. And they take notes, and then you go away. It's not like you have to ask the police's permission. And as far as like stewarding is concerned, I know that they had more than enough volunteers to put on the high vis and do the stewarding. And my problem was, I was coming down from Durham to London to go to this this march that hadn't even been announced. And the later I left it, the more it was going to cost me in train fare or in megabus fare. The megabus doesn't even fucking run anymore. Oh, wow, pelicans. 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 Oh, they've flown off now. Pelicans. Yeah, sorry. So I was getting a bit antsy, and so I put on my Twitter feed, I'm going to be in Hyde Park on, I don't know what the date was, it was like Sunday the 21st of March, with a pack of sandwiches and an amusing placard. I'd love it if you would come join me, right? And what I was doing with that is basically saying, I'm going to be there, whatever, saying to my friends and my followers, people who enjoyed watching Three Blokes in the Pub, I'll be there, you know, whatever's happening, nothing's happening. I'll be there in the park with a fucking placard and some fucking sandwiches. But I wanted to book me ticket because I knew that if I left it till like a week before to book my ticket, it would cost twice as much, maybe even more, right? So I get this message just out the blue from People's Vote, from their official Twitter account, back when it was acceptable to use Twitter. And they wrote to me, and they didn't sign it. They didn't say who that the name was. They just said, please take down that tweet because we haven't announced that we're doing the march yet. And I'm like, first of all, who is this? Secondly, what the fuck has it got to do with you? Like, I didn't say I was organising the march. I said I was going to be in the park. I'm going to be in Hyde Park with some sandwiches. I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah, the cliquiness and the gatekeeping and the constant fucking backbiting and the... I found it all quite demoralising, to be honest with you. And then the People's Vote thing absolutely collapsed the month before the general election of 2019. Roland Rudd, who organised it, had a big falling out with everyone. I don't know what it was about. I don't know the details. I wasn't involved. It was just like the worst possible fucking time. Amber Rudd's brother was in charge. Amber fucking Rudd's brother, as in the Tory Amber Rudd. And there's a part of me that just thinks that whole thing was set up to fail. I don't know if there were Russian agents or CIA or whatever just interfering to fuck it up. Or maybe a lot of people are just fucking fuckheads. I don't know. Fact, Clint Eastwood got his name from a railway station, Clintwood East. Ooh, that's quite cool. Ginger Clint Eastwood contest. I don't look like Clint Eastwood. I don't think anyway. Maybe we should do it. We should do like a calendar, shouldn't we? Of like woke as fuck calendar of like all the sexiest commentators. You know, like all the sexiest left wing content creators. I could be Mr. February. You are very lucky. If I was on the island, I would stay there and watch the world implode. Yeah, but my family are on the outside. My family aren't here. My stepdaughters aren't here. My mum's not here. My dad's not here. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand the temptation. I absolutely do. But the island's not particularly sustainable at the moment. It could be. It could be. Seriously, I could be eating lobster every night if I wanted to. Put some lobster pots out on the reef over there. I'm not kidding. Like, if I was any better at fishing and knew what I was doing, I could just go out and get some fucking nice big fish, get myself a barracuda to eat, or yellowfin tuna, keep me going for a fucking week. Grow stuff on the island now that it's stopped flooding. Grow loads of pineapples. Pineapples, delicious, juicy pineapples. You ever cut a pineapple off a pineapple? It's fucking great. So by the way, when I say pineapple off a pineapple, I mean, when you get a pineapple, right? You cut the top off, right? And then so you got the green bit sticking out the top. Just cut the top off, slice that bit off, right? With a little bit of the fruit underneath. And then just bury it in a bit of soil. And then just, especially here in the tropics. And it will grow another pineapple at the top of that pineapple. It's the craziest fucking thing. And the pineapple starts as a little miniature pineapple. It's so cute. And then they grow and grow and grow. It's like on a big stick in the middle of the plant. So you got the fronds or the leaves sticking out like that, and you've got like this one big stick in the middle of it, which has a pineapple on it, like a full-size massive pineapple once it's ripe, and it's like it's the 10 out of 10 for presentation, no notes, absolutely fantastic stuff. Well done, pineapples. It's like, here is your fruit, sir. Bananas as well. Grow some bananas on the island. That'll keep us going for a little bit. I think that the only difficulty I think we might have in this kind of soil, unless you built like, well, I suppose you could build like boxes, couldn't we, and put soil in it. would be taro, cassava, like potato type things, root vegetables. But that would be a good idea as well. Plantains. Plantains are fantastic. Plantains are like savoury bananas, like big bananas. And you can make really nice plantain chips out of them. Crushed plantain, fried crushed plantain. So yeah, thinking about it, could get to a point where the island is sustainable in terms of growing stuff, but I really need someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to gardening, to come to the island and sort it all out. Or I don't know, I could watch a few YouTube videos and learn myself, couldn't I? I suppose that would be fun. Um, I know what you mean, Graham. Some people on the left are the reason I tend to say I'm centre left to avoid being associated with these clowns. Yeah, Tommy, I agree. And like, obviously not everyone on the left because I'm on the left and I'm not a complete twat. Well, I'm a bit of a twat, but I'm not a complete twat. Um, but yeah, the bloody the schisms that go on, it drives me up the fucking wall, and you end up with this very very tribal group, and it's like you'll ask someone to do something and they'll go, well, I'm not doing it if they're going to be there. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And it makes getting anything done or, setting anything up so difficult because so many people on the left, and the right do this as well. I mean, the right do argue amongst themselves, although they're quite happy to suck in the hypocrisy. They don't really care as long as they get paid at the end of the day. And that's a big difference. I think maybe on the left, people care a bit too much. On the right, they just don't care at all. But yeah, I think learning the lessons from fighting Brexit is just like the main thing I would say is just let people do what they want to do. Let them do what they want to do. If they want to fight it, let them do it, okay? If they want to do it their own way. But don't put people down on your own side, especially not publicly. I saw some really horrific things written about Maddie Kay, EU Supergirl, who's a friend of mine. And she was, I don't know how much I can talk about this, but like, she had some horrific experiences, really horrific experiences with some of the older Remainer types. But some of the things that were written about her by people who were supposed to be on our side, calling her all sorts, like the most horrific names in public. And I was just absolutely mortified. And it was, I feel like in a way it was probably people panicking as we realised as 2019 went on that the Labour were not going to change, the Tory government under Boris Johnson was going to get their stupid election that they wanted, and then Brexit was going to happen. I think throughout that year we understood that it was now inevitable. It was sort of a bit of a foregone conclusion. And I think people panicked, and I think that panic made people horrible. But I hate that. I absolutely hate it. And it's why, I just, that the interpersonal relationships of any kind of political movement, I don't think are something that is, something that should be in the public. And have you noticed how it's not really when it comes to the government? We get some leaks and stuff, but we don't get so much. I mean, obviously you get sort of Clive Lewis and some backbench MPs saying, what the fuck is the government doing? Which is fair enough, right? But we tend not to get the ins and outs of what happened in cabinet meetings and things like that. They just don't air their laundry in public. The Tories didn't either, even when Liz Truss was in power, and Penny Mordaunt had to do PMQs because Dizzy Lizzie was hiding under a fucking desk or something and wouldn't come out. And that's the bit where Penny Mordaunt went, it's not as though she's hiding under a desk. But yeah, hilarity ensued. But yeah, I feel like for a lot of the situation that went down with the Remain situation, I think with I think one of the things that fucked us more than anything was the fact that we had a leader at the time of Labour who was absolutely not on our side. It didn't want anything to do with us. and wouldn't fight against the Tory and Nigel Farage's flagship policy. The flagship policy of every racist fuckhead in the country, and he wouldn't fight against it. So yeah, I mean, even with the best of wills, even if everything had come together perfectly between People's Vote and Led by Donkeys and Best for Britain and Grassroots for Europe and all these different groups, even it had that they'd coordinated and made some spectacular shit, which, to be fair, there was some spectacular shit that happened. That was part of the thing where they brought out when we were in Parliament Square, and Led by Donkeys had this like printed tweet from Michael Gove, which said, a democracy that cannot change its mind is no longer a democracy. There's this massive sheet that went over the whole crowd. It's brilliant. So, there was some stunts that were just fabulous, but at the end of the day, without that support, we were fucked from the start. Strangled at birth. Why did the American electorate not vote for a very intelligent, competent, empathetic black woman? Says Peter Paints a lot. Well, I think because the Democrats fucked up so badly. I don't know if I can ever forgive them either for allowing Trump to run for office. They should have locked him up. They should have locked him up for all the crimes he's committed. I couldn't leave my mum in the shit at daylight. Cause misogyny and racism. Certainly not everyone. There's at least 53 people watching the stream that are cool. I'm also a prick, says Tommy. Tommy, you're a flawed human, just like the rest of us. The line I like to use is, I am a prick, but at least I'm trying not to be. I just like that line from As Good As It Gets. I just burnt myself on the bloody mosquito coil. There's a line from As Good As It Gets where Helen Hunt demands that Jack Nicholson pays her a compliment, and he says, "You make me want to be a better person," and that is a really nice compliment. This is this old grinchy OCD, misogynistic, homophobic gobshite who kind of learns. It's a really great movie, As Good As It Gets. It's got a shit poster, but the film's good. It's about a misanthrope who basically learns that he needs to stop being such a gobshite, basically. If you watch it now, he's definitely the prototype for House. If you ever watch House MD. The guy did that did the speech at Glastonbury, said the thing that was really memorable. Yeah, I remember because I was at that speech. I was at the other one as well. He did two, by the way. He did one in a tent as well. And I was at both of them with my big flags that said bollocks to Brexit. He said things. No one can remember what he said, but they were amazing. They were amazing, fuck-filled platitudes. Lexit says daylight. Yeah, talking to Lexiteers, that was painful as well. Having to deal with that. And then, there were people, and Mike talked about this, Mike Dix, because he was involved in all that. And there was Conservatives for Europe. There was a group, Conservatives for Europe. And there were Tories who wanted to stay in Europe. And there were all the groups I'm not marching with them. I don't want them anywhere near me because they're Conservatives and I hate Conservatives. And I'm like, but they're on our side on this. We've got to get over ourselves. We have got to get over ourselves and stop falling into these little cliques and these little clubs. We're not in school anymore. You're talking to him, not talking to her. Me. Well, I guess this is as good as it gets. Peter Griffin, haha, he said it. Roll credits. Indeed. Trump ain't white, he's orange. He's a fucking foul fucking man. God damn it. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear in the distance, but the generator's running. So yesterday I plumbed the or the day before I plumbed the oven in because it moved it because we were doing the floor in the main room there in the house. And so I plugged the oven in, and I cleaned it. I really cleaned it really well. Hadn't been cleaned for ages. They don't really clean stuff in Panama. It's not a thing that happens, you know, stuff getting cleaned. Anyway, so I got out the Mr. Muscle, and yes, they do have Mr. Muscle here, and gave it a good squirt. Also, the Mr. Muscle. And I, I, I thought, oh, great, you know, it means I can have a hot shower now because the gas was disconnected completely when the cooker was disconnected. But the gas also feeds the boiler, so the boiler wasn't working because there was no gas, right? We'd actually taken the gas tank away, and so I plumbed it in yesterday, and then I was off and, you know, doing stuff. I got back and I was like, oh, finally, I'm gonna have a hot shower now, a hot shower. Because even though it's hot, I mean, having a cold shower in the morning is not that much fun. I can finally have a hot shower. I've had a week of like cold showers. I finally have a hot shower, and I'm there for ages, and I keep turning the hot tap on, and I can hear the boiler. Whoomph, you know that whoomph noise that you get like when the boiler turns on, that whoomph noise, yeah. I kept hearing that, but it wasn't getting hot. It wasn't getting hot. It's not working. So I went down, you know, after the cold shower, because that's all I could do. And I checked the gas tank and it was nearly empty. I was like, what the fuck? Went up. You know, when I clean the cooker, I turn the gas tap on. The hob. I turn the gas on the hob. So the gas has just been coming out. Luckily, the house is very, very well ventilated, exceptionally well ventilated. I mean, it technically doesn't have windows. It's just got mesh in. Well, what you see as the window in there isn't a window. It's just mesh to stop the chichas getting in. It's very well ventilated. Whoa, whoa! A fish just. Oh my god! I don't think it was a flying fish. I think it was just a normal fish. But a fish just skipped across the water along here. That was amazing. That was so cool. Must be a big fish in the water, getting chased by a big fish. Love being here, just when it's nice and calm like this. Anyway, so yeah, I've used up all the gas, so we need to go and get a new gas canister now. Fortunately, gas canisters here are the price cap put on by the government, and so I think it's only $6.50 last time I checked. It might be a bit more now because of inflation. But when I used to live here, I would use a gas tank up once every month, if that. I only used it for cooking and for the shower, for the hot water, doing the dishes and stuff, right? And it would last a month, and it was $6.50. Like, we're talking like £5. £5, that was my energy bill for the month living here. £5. And it's solar power. Could charge up all my stuff, charge up my laptop, charge up my plug in my projector. Used to have a little projector that shone on the wall under the house that I painted white, and I had like movie nights. People come around and sit under the house on my big beanbag things that I made and watch movies. All supplied by the wonderful power of the solar panels, which are like mad cheap now as well. It's like 50 quid for 600 watt, was it? Did I see a 600 watt one? I think it was a 600 watt, and it was $50 fucking. I was like, fucking hell, it's amazing. Graham, the wind is hitting the microphone again. Oh no, wind is getting up. Sorry. Plus I'm blathering. I am blathering. We need some confetti. Let's get some confetti going. Let's get some confetti for Diz. Diz, can we get some confetti? Can we get some confetti in here? I don't know. I wonder if I can. I mean, but you'll have to bear with me because I don't know if I can do this. I'm just wondering if I can set up a goal on this version of live. I don't think I can. I think this particular version of live is a bit shit, to say the least. Okay, can you hear me now? Am I sounding like a robot? Can you still hear me? Let me know in the chat. Hello, I'm Graham.
I'm talking through a USB mic. That makes me sound like a robot. L butterfly effect has got all this stuff going on. Right now, what happens if I do that? Right? Oh, that's cool. So if I tap on your comment, I can report you. I can remove you. I'm not doing that. I can hide you on the channel. I can put you in timeout. I can add you as a moderator. Oh my God! Like you don't want to have shaky fingers when you're picking that, do you? We got a troll on here, and I'm like, oh, okay, get rid of this troll. Hang on, let me press the button, and I press the and make them a fucking moderator. They delete all my videos. Um, it's why we have a corgi here. I don't feel clean if I have a cold shower. Yeah, you did what to your muscle? I squirted it. Oh shit! Forgot the oven cleaning tip from Morrison's yesterday. Wow. When I say that I clean the oven, I clean the hot plates, the hob. I didn't clean inside the oven. I've not even looked. I've not even opened it to see what it's because I know it's going to be horrible. But yeah, at some point, we've got at home. We've got this self-cleaning oven. I've never had one of these before, and it like you put the oven on like a mega high temperature or something, and it just bakes off all of the grime inside, like just takes it, and then I think you just let it cool down, like you sweep it out or something. It sounds really cool. I've not done it yet, but it sounds really cool. There's always a bigger fish. That is very, very true. So, what can I do here? Let's have a look. So I can change it to top chat, live chat, super chat, which is member and super chat message. What just happened? What just happened? I was trying to change the what I was looking at from the top chat to the live chat, and then I went, oh well, I'll look on the super chat thing. It says member messages, so maybe I'll just see the messages from members. Leipzig says, good afternoon, everyone, and how are we all doing today? I'm feeling pretty much meh as usual. Windows dropped on your USB mic, Graham, so all good. Okay, cool. It buffered, but you're back. Cool. No, it wasn't buffering. It was like it literally took me out. It took me out to the main page of YouTube. Oh, happy days. Went to London Welsh to see them yesterday. Watched Wales thrash Italy. Then an hour later, became a granddad for the first time. Oh, that's so amazing! Congratulations, mate. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. That is fantastic news. So all good. I'm glad you had a good day. I'm one of these people who takes pleasure from other people's pleasure. Um, so what we got? Top chat, live chat, super chat, none. Okay, so that's a bit sucky, isn't it? What have we got over here? We've got flip, mute, hide live video, retouch, create highlights, lighting. Lighting. What does retouch do? Let's press the retouch button. I've got the retouch on now. I'm being retouched. Does it make my skin go really like clear or something? Is that what happens to get rid of all my spots and all my imperfections and wrinkles and things? Do you reckon I can do like Zoolander, Blue Steel, Magnum? Um, no, I'll turn it off. Retouch off. Seems a bit pointless. Um, Congratulations. Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna get off in a moment. If anyone wants to drop a super chat in before I do, that'd be very nice. That'd be very nice of you. But I'm gonna go and help Ishmael. We're gonna finish sanding the floor. I was hoping that the wood for the end of the walkway, which was supposed to be finished last week, was supposed to be arriving today, but apparently it's gonna be Tuesday now. The three lies of Bocus. The three lies of Bocus is just one drink. First lie of Bocus. Second one is I'm leaving tomorrow. Second lie of Bocus. Third lie is I love you. The three little lies of Bocus. You haven't got any wrinkles. I have. If anyone else is OCD and organizes the emojis on your phone, please. Is anyone else OCD and organizes the emojis on your phone? I don't know how to organize them. It just comes up with the latest ones I've used. Um, all good though. I'm very happy for Die Stanton. That is very exciting. So yeah, we're gonna be sanding the floor, get that finished today. It's looking really good. It's looking really good. And I might do a bit of painting. Might make a ladder. That'll be fun. Should we make a ladder so we can get in the water here? Because at the moment, I know you can't see, but you can just imagine just at the end there, you can see the top step just sort of there. sticking up. There's a rope holding it on. There's a set of steps. There's a set of steps that are there that are just basically coming into the water, and they're a bloody nightmare. They don't work as I wanted them to, and yeah, a ladder would be so much easier. A ladder that we can take out of the water. Because one of the problems is anything that you put in the water just attracts shells like mussels and stuff like that, or attached to them, and you don't want to stand on that in your bare feet. So yeah, I'm gonna take out that little staircase there. Come on, I'll show you. I'll show you. Get out my hammock. I'll get out my hammock and show you. Whoop. There you go. See, just steps into the water. Steps down into the water. So we're going to be getting these. They're not as good as they look, right? You think, oh, steps down in the water, that's good. And that'd be nice. But the problem is, if you get into the water and you try to get out, you don't have the first step. Do you know what I mean? To get up, so you've got to kind of like pull yourself up onto the step that's just above the water line. You see the water's actually lapping that step. You need them to go under the water so you can be under the water and put your foot on the first step while under the water. You can't do that. So yeah, ladder would be better. So what we're going to do is we are going to take Ishmael's not Ishmael, sorry. We're going to take Marcus's wonderful ladder that he built when he was here 5 years. I can't believe that was 5 years ago. We're going to take Marcus's marvelous ladder, and we're going to copy it. We're going to copy that ladder because we need that to get into the spare room. But we're going to copy that and make it so that we have one for here. And we're going to use the wood that we got from knocking down the bodega the other day to make the ladder to go into the water. It's really good. The sea view reminds me of the planet in Star Wars and the Force Awakens, where they have the TIE fighter and X-wing battle. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the Force Awakens, is it? Is it the Force? I thought that was Rogue One. It's Rogue One, isn't it? Where this is a bit more Rogue One, I think. Is anyone else OCD and organizes the emoji? I've read that one. Barnacles on bare feet? No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to get barnacles on your feet. David Jones. David Jones's locker. Anyway, so okay, so that's it for today. Sorry, just to talk a little bit about, I don't know, Iran and the shit that's going down. I feel really shit about the fact that so many people are suffering and so many people are going to suffer because of Donald Trump. Because Donald fucking Trump. What an arsehole. What a shit. What a gobshite. But one thing I will mention as well, I'm going to move over to this side. I'm going to move on this side there. One thing I will mention as well is similar to Rogue One, you have a better view of the area. It's the Oscars tonight, talking of movies. And I mentioned this yesterday. I'm hoping Jessie Buckley is going to win for Best Actress. I think she will. I want the woman who played the witch in Weapons to get Best Supporting Actress. I want Michael B. Jordan to win Best Actor for his role in Sinners. I want Sinners to win Best Film. But if one battle after another wins Best Film, I'll take it. I want Benito del Toro to win for Best Supporting Actor. I wouldn't mind if we saw, say, Sinners maybe win for Best Direction, and then one battle after another win Best Picture or vice versa. I wouldn't mind either way. But yeah, I would like to see Sinners win a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a horror film. It's a vampire movie. Yeah, and I just don't feel like horror as a genre gets as much kudos as it really should get. If you think about, like, even going back to all the way to the 60s, and you remember Rosemary's Baby, directed by Roman Polanski, who's problematic. Mia Farrow was never given. I don't think she was even nominated for a role playing Rosemary in Rosemary's Baby. She was fucking fantastic in that. And it's just because horror doesn't get the same kind of kudos as other, genres. And I think it should. So yeah, that's my hopes. That's my hopes. One battle after another. And yeah, just I don't think Hamlet should win the best picture. I don't think it is the best picture. I think it's very good, but I don't think it's best picture material. I really think that that accolade has to go to Sinners or One Battle Atom. So there you go. Hi, Rosemary. Rosemary. At the Razzies. Oh, the Razzies was absolutely dominated, wasn't it, by the War of the Worlds adaptation with Ice Cube in it. With Ice Cube. Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck were they thinking? But they made it and they won a lot of Razzies. Um, what, Rosemary's? Congratulations, Rosemary's. um, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So, my friends, I'm going to go. And if we're doing something interesting this afternoon, doing a painting or something, I might do a stream. So please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. And you can do some ASMR with us here on the island. And otherwise, I will hopefully be back this evening with a little midnight massive here on the island, midnight jungle massive, with me and my little dog chilling out and talking bollocks. If you like that kind of thing, please join us for that. And big kudos, big shout out to all the mums out there. Happy Mother's Day. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye bye. Bye bye bye.